What's going on, guys? So, you seen the title, you see the collage. But before I get to the topic of this video, I have to inform you that this is a promotional video for the link that is down in the description box, as well as the pinned post. A video which I have made available both on BitChute and our very own FS Avenger. Make sure you go over there and support black male owned and operated media, specifically and exclusively for black men. I will be doing live streams over there. I already put a majority of my video content over there. I will be doing live streams over there regular now that we have that capability. I'm going to do at least one every month. Hopefully I get to do more than that, but with my busy schedule, we'll see. But the video over there right now is regarding this Susan Rice response to Mr. Snoop Doggy Dogg, who basically did his version of what he called putting a hoe in check. Snoop Dogg is a legend for at least lyrically doing so when it comes to the BAW. So much so that over 20 years ago, he got the attention of Congresswoman C. Dolores Tucker, who tried to shut him down in the black women's first campaign of trying to silence black men's freedom of speech and expression, which, like the current one, failed and literally fell flat on its face. But Susan Rice, who herself is a biracial swirler, who's married to a white man and who was the UN ambassador or something like that for the Obama administration, former UN ambassador, she took to Twitter and she vehemently defended Gayle King, calling her everything that she wasn't, including a professional reporter that has an astute record of doing her job so vigorously and to perfection and professionally, and scolding Snoop Dogg as black women think they can do with black men because they see themselves as the men of the community, calling herself scolding Snoop Dogg by warning him to back the fuck off or there would be an army coming after him. Now, let me tell you, the picture in the lower left-hand corner of this collage is going to become brutally ironic in the video that's in the link in the description box. But I believe the term "you in what army" when it comes to black women who make these empty threats, just it becomes so relevant at a time like this. But anyway, not to give too much away, but I do have to warn you, in that video, I am not too kind verbally. I am not too kind at all. And it is going to be quite vulgar. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to hurt some people's feelings. Okay? But that video of me responding to Susan Rice, responding to Snoop Dogg, who responded to Gayle King, who caught backlash in that stupid interview where Lisa Leslie responded to her bullshit, is now available down in the link in the description box, as well as the pinned post. Now, to this bimbo. Now, as many of you recall, I produced a video when this story first broke about Gayle King trying to use Lisa Leslie, Kobe Bryant's friend, and WNBA legend in her own right, Lisa Leslie, as a pawn to attack Kobe Bryant's character for an unproven, unfounded allegation from a 2003 rape charge of some white bimbo who accused him of sexual assault, even though she refused to testify, and thus the prosecution dropped the case. I believe that was in Colorado. I specifically recall my dad talking about the hypocrisy of this female. They found like 6 or 7 dudes' sperm up in her when they did a rape kit, and she was embarrassed or intimidated to the point where she didn't want to testify, probably because her business would get out and it would be exposed that she was a hoe. But she later sued Kobe Bryant's estate and got some undetermined. Well, it was settled out of court. I don't know what she got or if she got anything at all, but it was settled out of court. Okay, but that was all the way back. What? Shit, that's 17 years ago now. Okay, and Gayle King, just being the vindictive, conniving black bimbo that she is, she brought that up. And I said in that video, I said specifically 2 things. One thing I said was that, I could understand if there was some legitimacy to these charges. Like it went to trial and he was convicted, okay? Or he admitted to doing something inappropriate with this female like Bill Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky after he denied it initially, okay? But these charges were dropped. Thus, the person in the case refused to testify. Okay? She didn't want to go to trial because she realized that she was going to be cross-examined. Her life was going to be looked into. And she likely didn't want that because it was going to be seen that she wasn't nothing but a hoe. Okay? But Gayle King, being the venomous snake that she is, and she obviously has it out for black men, she brought this up. The other thing I mentioned in that video was I briefly mentioned the look that Gayle King constantly gave R. Kelly in that now famous interview that she did with him back when he was first charged with new sexual assault charges in Chicago by the same prosecutor, Kim Fox, that dropped the case against Jussie Smollett, who faked his own robbery, his own assault, robbery and assault. We know that case is being looked at now by a special prosecutor, thankfully. So Jussie Smollett isn't off the hook. But I talked about, how that, everybody talked about how R. Kelly, being the degenerate that he is, he couldn't control himself and he just lost his emotions, as black men raised by single black females often do. But nobody seemed to notice or at least mention that look of evil and disdain and hate that you could see just oozing off of the wrinkled face of Gayle King in that interview. And that interview is what, even though she's been with CBS for a while and she's been friends with Oprah since they were college aged, that interview really put her on the map, so to speak, as far as, a noticeable celebrity personality across social media. And I talked about in that first video about how you could just see the expression on her face, how it was like this: I got you, nigga, I got you by the balls and everything else. You could see that look in her face. And part of the look to me was she saw that this dude was speaking. Again, I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly, because I know that he was a pedophile. Okay, the marriage license with Aaliyah proves that. Okay, And I've been talking about for years why nobody's going after him. But I also talked about how R. Kelly was used, that interview with Gayle King and R. Kelly was used to take a stab at black masculinity, okay? To paint us in a certain negative light as monsters that are unable to control our penises, and think, and we think more with our dicks than our brains, which is why I've cautioned black men for the longest time about allowing these females to infiltrate black male spaces, because what they will do, they will pretend to be your friend, they will pretend to want to hear your side of the story, and then they will turn around and use that shit against you. Okay? So I talked about the hatred that Gayle King had. And what I mentioned at first, it was just mere speculation. I said Gayle King is likely lashing out, you know, at R. Kelly for the same, she, not, well, indirectly lashing out at R. Kelly for the same reason that she's taking stabs at Kobe Bryant's legacy with this unproven uh, rape claim. Because like Simone 56, she's not one of those loudmouth heifers like Crystalline Swirls is. She's more of a Crooklyn Blue type. She's a silent assassin type. You know, where she's gonna slither in and insert her toxin like a black widow and then slip back out the door. And Gayle King, she's one of those dirty boxing types. Like I said, a silent assassin. She thought she was being slick in that interview by slipping in that question, but people caught on to it with the help of her employer, CBS, and now all of a sudden she's catching heat for it, because again, she's a silent assassin. She's a black widow. That wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to go in just like that R. Kelly interview, act like, she's just giving an honest interview, insert her toxin, and then slip out, after the damage, and, sit back and, revel with her friend like Oprah and that bimbo, what was her name, Susan Rice or whatever, and look, kind of dabble in the damage that she had done. She wasn't supposed to catch heat. And so when she caught heat, like black females do, she started blaming everybody but herself. Okay? And I said that the reason why this female she seems to be so evil towards black men in a covert way. Again, she's not an outspoken ranter nutcase like Crystalline Swirls. Okay? But you can look at that face, through all that fake up and all those wrinkles. You can look at that face and you can tell that when she looked at R. Kelly, when she asked that question to Kobe Bryant, there's a hatred there. There's a vitriol. There is venom. There is a negative behind that. Okay? It's not just her, being, having bad taste in asking questions. That was intentional. Just like they, talk about, how when a person running to a base, or during in Major League Baseball, when they slide into a runner, they slide into a baseman with their hands up, and cause an injury as they're sliding into the base as the guy's trying to tag them out. That's on purpose. When a boxer punches below the belt, that's on purpose, usually. Okay? She did that on purpose. And I said that she's likely did that on purpose because she's bitter about something, likely a black man that she was in a relationship with at some point, that did her dirty, or she perceived it as him doing her dirty. And so now she's out over one experience, or even a series of experiences with black men. Those individual experiences that she has, now she's out, like most black women, to go after all black men. And what we saw in that R. Kelly interview is the same thing we saw in that Lisa Leslie interview. Okay. It's equivalent to what we see when we're out and about and we see the attitude on a lot of these females' faces as soon as they see us, black men. Because they tie us and their sons and every black man they see online and off to the men, the poor choices in men that they made who happen to be black. Okay? They wound up fucking them over. Okay? When the truth of the matter is, if they hadn't been going after, the pretty boy, the thug boy, the dope boy types of dudes, trying to gold dig off a dude and thinking that their pussy could control them, a lot of cases, they wouldn't have experienced what they experienced. But because the black American female can never take responsibility for her own actions, instead of acknowledging that she is responsible for that bad choice in not only getting that poor relationship choice, but staying in that relationship. Because a lot of these females, they stay with abusive men or men that cheat on them, and matters just get worse. Okay? And a lot of times they do the same thing that they accuse men of doing, subject for another video. They turn, instead of just owning it, they want to turn around just like Gayle King did and point the finger at somebody else. Well, all these niggas are the same. Niggas ain't shit. Even though we know that, while they say opposites attract, usually it's people who have a similar mindset and, similar personality traits and flaws that wind up getting together, that are attracted to each other. I just told y'all about that situation at Texas A&M with those two thoughts. Why did they have that violent thug in the dorm room of the girl that was living there? If she's going there to study to become a nurse and further herself, why is she in there with her sister and her sister's violent thug boyfriend who's already held a knife to her throat? Because these females like those types of ain't shit dudes. But when they realize they can't control those ain't shit dudes with their pussy, then they want to get mad at all black men. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you an article that was written almost literally 1 year ago today. It was 1 year to the month for sure. February of 2019, in the Daily Mail, co.uk. As you know, it's a very popular blogging and celebrity news site. And this was, I think, right around the time that Gayle King interviewed R. Kelly, and she first, kind of got put on the radar of social media after that interview. And it was regarding her recalling the moment that she walked in on her former husband, who is a black man, having sex with another woman in their home, and they later divorced. I'm just going to go, I think reading the article could do more justice than anything I could ever say in helping you explain why not only Gayle King, well, really, why Gayle King is really just a microcosm of a much bigger problem with the BAW. And that problem is that the BAW cannot see where they fuck up, where they are the problem, where they cause their own problems by selecting these low-grade black males, thinking that somehow their pussy is going to inspire this dude to become high-grade. The guy was already low-grade before you got with him. You chose to get with this type of dude instead of a good dude. All these simps out here that will kiss the fucking ground that your stank ass feet walk on. But you chose this guy. You chose, the Nipsey Hussle. You chose the William Bumpsy or whatever her husband's name is. You chose, this violent thug that killed you and your sister in your own dorm at Texas A&M University. You chose these dudes. But now, because you made that poor decision, just like you made that poor decision to bring up an allegation from a dropped sexual assault charge against Kobe Bryant. Now that you're taking heat, or now that you're getting heat, now that this relationship has fallen apart, now that this dude is abusing, putting hands on you, now all of a sudden you want to blame black men that ain't got nothing to do with it. So let me just go ahead and shut up and read this for you guys. And like I said, I think it can do more justice than anything I can say. It says, Gayle King recalls the devastating moment she walked in on her husband having sex with her friend, who then told her, "I never liked you," as she and Oprah discussed their close bond. And this was written by Charlie Langston and Erica Tempesta and Chris Spargo for DailyMail.com, dated February 22nd, 2019. It says, Gayle King, 64, has once again spoken out about the moment she caught ex William Bumpus cheating on her in 1990. So another thing we need to keep in mind, this is very important, okay? Because I told y'all it was somebody, probably a black man in her past, and apparently this is in her way, way past. Because if this was written in 2019 and she was interviewed, that would have been 09, 1909, 99, 89. This was almost 30 years ago. So she's had this anger and hatred festering in her for a very long time. Okay? Says, Gayle, 64, has once again spoken out about the moment she caught ex William Bumpus cheating on her in 1990, but has now revealed it was with a friend. The revelation was made during the latest installment of the OG Chronicles, her video series with best friend Oprah Winfrey, 65. CBS anchor Gayle first spoke out about the cheating scandal in July 2016. Later that month, William publicly apologized, calling her a great wife. Gayle was married to the former Assistant Attorney General from 1982 to 1993. The couple, who has 2 children, a son, William Jr., and daughter, Kirby. Gayle King has revealed that the woman she found having sex with her husband was actually a friend, who, after being caught in the act, told the CBS anchor, "I never liked you." The 64-year-old made the shocking revelation during an intimate chat with her best friend, Oprah Winfrey, 65, as part of their ongoing video series, The OG Chronicles, with Oprah admitting that she believes her fellow TV host was scarred by the devastating experience. Now, let me just put a pause on that for just a second. Oprah Winfrey, who everybody's been saying is Gayle King's, Batman, like Gayle King is Robin and Oprah is Batman. This is her partner in crime, literally and figuratively. This is their partner in crime. Even Oprah acknowledged that this experience of her walking in, as a young, black woman married to a successful black man, and find him fucking not only another woman, but her so-called friend, and then turning to her while he's fucking this other woman, saying, "I never liked you," scarred her, emotionally scarred her. And when you look at this picture with this revelation, now understanding, having a better understanding with research and this information on Gayle King, okay, you come to better understand, and even you're able to better see that scarring when you look at her face. I mean, other than the wrinkles, you can see that scarring in her eyes. That hatred, that vitriol that she has when she looks at a black man, or when she asks questions, trying to catch a black man in some some, some venomous spider web, or ask questions to someone else about a black man. Every chance she gets, she uses her silent assassin tactics to try to paint black men in a bad light, to avenge the bad experience that she had with this husband of hers. That's what this is about. But let me keep reading. Quote, "I think you may be scarred," Oprah said while discussing Gayle's hesitance to open up to new friends. Unquote. "Remember, you had that friend who slept with your husband, and when you found her, you said, 'I thought you were my friend.'" Unquote. Shocking, Gayle King has revealed that she walked in on her husband having sex with one of her friends during their 11-year marriage. Heartache. The 64-year-old made the revelation during a video filmed with Oprah for their OG Chronicles series, with Oprah saying she believes her friend was scarred by it. To add insult to injury, Gayle said her so-called friend didn't have any remorse for her actions at the time. She said, "Oh, it was her friend that said, 'I never liked you,'" she recalled. "I thought it was her husband." Okay. Boy, that's bold. That's bold. To fuck your friend's husband, he's married. This must have been a black female too that was fucked. It could have been a white woman too, though. I take that back. Could have been a white woman that was fucking her husband behind her back and then in front of her face. I mean, that's some bullshit. I mean, when you get caught having an affair with a married person and their spouse walks in, you're supposed to jump up like you're so surprised and you're so apologetic and, say, the typical, "Look, I can explain everything," or "It's not what it looks like." People always say that dumb shit. "It's not what it looks like." Then what is it if it's not what it looks like? If I look across the street and I see a fucking red bird walking on the damn sidewalk, what am I supposed to do? Call it a blue jay? Oh no, that's not a red robin. It's not what it looks like. What the hell is it? I just saw you humping my husband, or my husband humping you. Y'all naked in my bed, burning each other up. What does it? I mean, what else is it if it's not that? What do you mean it's not what it looks like? But this whole looked at Gayle King, and I don't know if this happened during the act or afterward. She said, "I never liked you." So she was revenge. And maybe that says a lot about Gayle King. Maybe Gayle King was vindictive and, kind of snaky like she is now before what happened with her and her husband. And maybe that's why her husband and this other woman were doing what they were doing, just to fix her. I don't know. Because why would you already didn't hurt somebody by, sleeping with their spouse right in front of them, and then you turn and say, "I never liked you," knowing that's a green light for a fist fight right there, bro. I mean, that's bold. Gayle King must have been a witch and replace. She must have been some type of person. I mean, for somebody to do something like that and then turn around and say, "I never liked you," like that's what you get. I mean, I don't know, man. But anyway, says Gayle first opened up about the shocking moment during an interview with Vanity Fair in July 2016, when she completed the Proust questionnaire and was asked, "Which living person do you most despise?" She responded to the question by saying, "Despise is a strong word. I'm not a huge fan of the woman I caught naked with my now ex-husband on June 24th, 1990 at 9:16 p.m. Damn! Well, and see, this is what I'm telling y'all. This female 30 years ago, well, 29 to be exact, she remembered the date and the minute she walked in on her husband fucking her friend. Now, what does that tell you about Gayle King? other than she has a long-winded ass memory. It tells you that this and other experiences like it with black men has been on her mind for a very, very, very long time. Okay? She wakes up taking a shower and making her coffee thinking about this shit. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of stuff that I can remember vividly, stuff in the national media, stuff that's happened around the world like September 11th, stuff in my personal life. I can remember it down to the day, but the date and the minute and the second that shit went down, not necessarily, unless it was recent. This woman remembers the motherfucking time, bruh. Like she can rewind back to that very minute if she wanted to. If she had a life remote. That's some deep shit. And that lets you know the mentality of this woman and what is really behind all this vitriol that she has for black men. Okay? Now the picture of Gayle King and why she asked that stupid question to Lisa Leslie about unproven rape allegations is becoming clearer. But let's keep reading. William Bumpus responded to his ex's admission by telling Page 6 in a statement, quote, "I have been haunted with this life-altering choice, though I have dealt with this privately. I publicly apologize for the major transgression that dramatically changed all of our lives," unquote. He also said of Gayle, quote, "I have nothing but the..." And then another thing, this is why I'll never get married, okay? I came close to being stupid enough to put, well, I was never close to putting a marriage ring on my ex's finger. But the fact that I was contemplating it proves that I was a fucking fool. But now, as a much older, wiser Marlboro man, I'll tell you, this is why I will never get married. Getting emotionally connected to a person, especially in this day and age, as a black man, especially to a BAW, is one of the biggest mistakes you could ever make. Because once you're connected to that person, it's like sticking a plug in an outlet, okay? There's current, there's electrical flow going through that current, okay? In your case, okay, part of your life is going through that wire. It's flowing current. Your heart now is permanently connected to that other person. And if you truly loved and cared for that person, they do something to hurt you. They do stupid shit. They say stupid shit to hurt you. Whether you can retaliate by saying or doing something to hurt them, that will stick with you forever. Just like losing a loved one. This is why I'll never, ever do that marriage shit, bro. It's just not worth it nowadays. It's just not worth it. You can't control what people do. And because I can't control what a person does, I don't want them in my life. Fuck them. That's my attitude. Okay? That's why I would literally rather have the company of a doll or a dog than a human. And particularly a human female. It's just not worth it. But anyway, continuing to read, says, he also said of Gayle, "I have nothing but the utmost respect for Gayle and how she handled herself with grace. Despite the situation, she kept our children, as well as my relationship and involvement with them, as a clear priority. Gayle was a great wife, an excellent mother, and a fantastic co-parent," he added. "I am eternally grateful for all that she has done and continues to do to enrich my life and the lives of our incredible adult children." Now, this is where I'm going to come at you, black men, and say, okay, this dude is a piece of shit. Okay? Even if Gayle was a straight bitch to him, what he should have did was he should have broke up. He should have divorced her. Okay? And got with the woman he really wanted to be with. Okay? I'm not obligating no man to be with no female that's getting on his nerves, but to have, I don't know what they were doing, revenge sex, or whether it was lust, I don't know. Okay? Any person who cheats, male or female, is a piece of shit. I'm just going to say that right now. They're a piece of shit. There's no excuse for cheating. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. There's no excuse. If you think there's an excuse, fuck you. Now, Says William called himself a work in progress. Yeah, the fucking punk in progress. Meanwhile, when asked for comment about the identity of the naked woman, Gayle said she knows her name. Well, Gayle don't want to get sued. Gayle is a millionaire now. She mentioned that woman's name. I mean, she can easily be sued. Says family Gayle and William has two children, a son, William Jr., and her daughter, Kirby. Her children, well, her daughter got a 5 head, but she got some nice looking children. She does. So she wasn't a swirler. Some nice looking children. Wow. Over it. The anchor pictured with her children in 2016 has said she is not bitter about her divorce. Oh, yes, she is. See, Gayle, she's one of them people again. She doesn't rant against the man who hurt her. What she does is she goes out and she takes it out on other men that look like her husband, like Crystal Swirls. Not saying that Crystal Swirls has ever been married, but I'm just saying that, like Crystal and Kerrison. Crystal and Kerrison does that shit. Damn, just had an epiphany. How could I forget Crystal and Swirls? Crystal and Kerrison, I mean, she does that shit all day, every day. That's what her that she even admitted. Crystal and Kerrison admitted years ago that her getting with that white man and starting this pink pill, pink package thing, its entire origins were rooted in her deep emotional breakdown and scarring from being left by a black man who knocked her up in college and gave her first child. These females, when they get hurt, okay, they want to go out and they don't only want to hurt, the man who hurt them. They want to hurt all men in general that even remind them of that one man, including their sons, which is why they always remind the dude that he's just like his dad when he does something to piss her off. Says Gayle was married to William from 1982 to 1993 and has spoken about her split in past interviews. So they stayed together 3 years after she caught him, walked in and caught him fucking another woman. Back in 2006, she addresses his infidelities on her XM satellite radio show, according to CBS News, saying, "I was married to a cheater." She went on to say, quote, "I went to marital counseling. I've been divorced since 1993, so I'm all healed and everything. I have worked it out. I'm not bitter. I'm okay. I'm really okay." Now, one thing we know about the BAW, when they claim they are something, you can rest guaranteed. All you got to do is think about what the opposite of it is that they claim they are or aren't. And you'll get your answer about what's really going on with them. So if she's saying she's not bitter, we know that she is bitter. She's saying she's okay, we know that she's not okay. Now again, I don't blame her for being bitter about something like that. I mean, it's bad enough knowing that you have a cheating spouse, but to walk in and see that shit taking place, yeah, that's some traumatic shit that you won't get over. But see, she's using this platform that she has now on CBS to silently do the same thing that Crystal Kerrison and Crystal Swirls and Paris Milan and Cynthia G and so many of these other females, both known and not so well known, have been doing for years. It's just that she's a little bit more slick about it. What did I tell y'all about these females? They're all the same. They flip-flop and they have a kamikaze mindset and they're out to get your black arse. Likely because of something that ain't got nothing to do with you. Man, I'm a prophet. People are right. I'm not even bragging. I don't want to be a prophet. I just am. I said this shit before I even knew anything about her husband and this cheating issue. I said it. I said it when she did the R. Kelly video interview, and I said it when she did the Lisa Leslie video. I said, Gayle King is one of those black females that's probably mad at black men because of what some Negro did to her in her past. I was right. Gayle spoke about her kids as well on her radio show, saying, quote, "It's important for people who have children together to get along. Regardless of how you feel about the other as a spouse, you still have these children to raise together." That's another mistake I'm glad I didn't make, having children early. Because I likely would have been broke up with the baby mama and paying child support, going through all kinds of hell trying to see my kids, and just that big mess that a lot of black men have and have to go through. I'm just glad I didn't put myself in that situation. The Vanity Fair interview also gave Gayle a chance to talk about her best friend when asked, "Which living person do you most admire?" She responded by saying Oprah Winfrey. And I'm suspecting that she's friends with Oprah Winfrey because Oprah is just as bitter at black men as she is. But I think Oprah is bitter at black men for a different reason. Oprah's bitter because, we've seen Oprah. We know she's physically unfortunate. I think Oprah's bitter at black men because wasn't none of them really hollering to her, like ever. I had a godmother named Lula who claimed she grew up with Oprah in Mississippi. She claimed that one time when Oprah was raped, sexually assaulted, she came to my godmother's mother's house and they comforted her. Now, I don't know to what extent that's true because truth be told, I I wasn't around my godmother that long. I stayed with her at 19 for about 5 months in her house. But that's one of the stories that she told. And she claims that she always tried to reach out to and contact Oprah, but Oprah never returned her calls, So, I don't know. But, yeah, that's it. That's it, man. She responded by saying, Oprah Winfrey, she always does the right thing, even when no one is looking. Gayle happily welcomed Kirby's fiance Virgil Miller into her family. So they don't appear to be swirlers in Gayle King's family, which I find odd. They seem to be those Cosby Show type Negroes, but it didn't end well. The friendship between the pair has long led to rumors of a relationship between the two, but Gayle has shot those down time and time again, saying in a 2011 interview with TV Guide, "In the beginning, it used to bother me. Like, oh my God, I don't want people to think I'm gay. I'm trying to get a date." Unquote, says, quote, "But now I don't care. I've given up trying to figure that out. At this stage, if you still think that, it's on you." The latest installment of the OC Chronicles was filmed during the recent Holland America Line and the Oprah Magazine recent Girls Getaway Cruise, and the two pals reflected on their decades-long friendship while giving their fellow cruisegoers advice about life, love, and personal relationships. "Gayle has been my best friend since we were 21 and 22, Oprah said. So over the years, I've tried to make other friends with other people. I remember that friend I was going to try to have, and the person wanted to borrow money. I loaned it to her," she recalled. While Gayle optimistically believed that the friend would pay Oprah back, the media mogul wasn't convinced. I go, she's not going to pay me back. And you know what I call it? My Negro exit fee," Oprah said. Nautical Adventure. The latest installment of the OC Chronicles was filmed during the recent Holland America Line and the Oprah Magazine recent Girls Getaway Cruise, blah, blah, blah. So sweet, Oprah said the reason her friendship with Gayle is so great is that they have always wanted the best for each other. Yeah, I told you. People are saying that they're lesbians. No, I don't think so. I think these are, just like so many black women, these are two scorned black women who just happened to find each other by being involved in the media business, the business of media, that they happened to find each other, and they were deeply emotionally scarred by negative experiences that they had with black men, or as a result of feelings that they had toward black men that weren't returned. That's what these two women are. You're looking at two broken women, one of them extremely famous, one of them, I guess you could say now, slightly famous, but they're really no different than any of these other, be it, so-called sisterhoods of failure. They really aren't. They're broken, they're torn, they're scarred, and they're a little mental too. And they're using their platforms, you know, respectively. Gayle King with CBS, Oprah with her own, talk show and now production company. They're using that power to come after the focus of their rage and their, you know, and, what has made them so sad and depressed and gave them so much low self-esteem in their lives, black men. So this is no coincidence. The talk show host stressed the reason her friendship with Gayle is so great is that they have always wanted the best for each other. I've never wanted to be Oprah, Gayle said, as she couldn't resist asking her friend, have you ever wanted to be me? Oprah replied with a laugh, I never wanted to be you. The color, who wants to walk in and find they spouse fucking somebody? I wouldn't want that either. The color purple star added that another great thing about their friendship is that neither of them feels threatened when the other wants to bring a new friend into the mix. Gayle is the kind of friend who is secure enough in the friendship, Oprah said. I'm the kind of friend who is secure enough in the friendship that if she wanted to bring another friend in, neither of us thinks, oh, that means I have to move out. The two both agreed that a true friend is someone that you can depend on and sticks by you during the tough times. Oprah recalled her limousine breaking down years ago, explaining that in these moments, you know who your real friends are. Does that not look like Regina King? That's supposed to be Gayle King. They both got the same last names. Now tell me that Gayle King back in her younger years didn't look like Regina King. Tell me that doesn't look, damn. Oprah had some pretty nice knockers back in the day. God, oh. I know that's fake up on, but and a wig, but dang, I didn't know Oprah ever had curves. No, this must be Photoshop. I thought Oprah was always like obese. Dang, boy. Oprah had a little body on her back in the day, boy. I didn't know that. Boy, that wall hit harder. That wall hit harder than Princess Diana. Never mind, y'all. Scratch that. I'm clowning. Let me finish this shit, man. I gotta go to bed. Closest can be, Oprah and Gayle, pictured with Stedman Graham in 1994, have been friends since they were 22 and 21. Okay, so they were young. They were babies back then, bruh. This is a year after Gayle King divorced her husband. I guess she wasn't bad looking back then. But Oprah wasn't that bad looking. I know that's fake up on her face and a wig, but still, she had a little body on her, boy. Had some nice knockers, too. Both of them, to be young women back then, they didn't look that bad, but both of these, I tell you, it don't matter what they look like. It don't matter what their profession, how many degrees they have, how much money they make. All these females think alike, man. Major milestone. Gayle helped Oprah ring in her 65th birthday last month. Closest can be. The two both agreed that a true friend is someone that you can depend on and sticks by you during tough times. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's a lesbian, as I said before, I don't think there's a lesbian thing going on between Gayle King and Oprah. I think these women being friends with each other and being close, emotionally close with each other, is therapeutic for them because they're two broken women that are bitter about the same thing, which is black men. And at some point in their relationship, in this 30 something year relationship that they had, they agreed to use their influence and their power, starting with Oprah, to try and ruin black men the way they felt ruined by black men. That's what I think. And specifically, Oprah is able to do what most black women can't, which is appeal to and influence millions of people through her talk show, through her movie production company, through her magazine, through her online podcast. Gayle King, on a much smaller scale, is able to do this, while being anchor woman on CBS News through, her controversial interviews that are called hardcore journalism, but really are, just a picture perfect poster child example of what they talk about when they say, you know, there's nothing worse than a woman scorned. These are two scorned women, bruh. This ain't got nothing to do with lesbian stuff. This is two scorned women that are out for blood, figuratively. They have been thinking about this shit. They've been thinking about black men for over 30 years. And they are out to get y'all any way they can, bro. Man, are they going... I ain't trying to talk about their relationship no more, bro. Like, what are they talking about in this? Am I really gonna finish reading this shit? Ah, fuck it. I told you I was gonna read it. I'll read it. Closest can be. The two both agreed that a true friend is someone that you can depend on and sticks by you during the tough times. Quote, who's going to be with you and say it's okay if we don't have the limousine? That's what you really want, she said. Oprah and Gayle's friendship has certainly passed the test of time, but they made it clear that there is plenty of good-natured ribbing in their relationship. When a cruise goer asked about what she should do about friends who leave snarky comments on her social media posts, Gayle pointed out that there is a difference between snarky and playful. Quote, I think there is a way you can tease a friend without it feeling like you're tearing her down or taking a dig, she said, prompting her friend to call her out. Quote, like the time you said you passed the TV and my boob hit you in the eye, Oprah asked. Oprah had on a dress with a lot of cleavage, and I just went, Lord have mercy, unquote, Gayle explained, recalling one of the media mogul's public appearances. No, this is what you said. I got on the phone and you said, I have a black eye, and I said, what happened? You said, I passed the TV and your boob hit me in the eye, Oprah clarified. Wait, let me go back up to that picture. Yeah, that's what I saw. Gayle King said the same fucking thing I did. I didn't know that Oprah ever dressed like that. The only thing I ever saw her in was sweaters. Damn, Oprah had, when she was young, she had a pretty nice pair of knockers on her. God, dog. A nice little body on her when she was younger. I didn't know that about Oprah until I read this shit. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Says Gayle meanwhile recounted the time she got blonde highlights in her hair. Everyone else said they looked good, but Oprah told her, you look ridiculous. Oprah recalled her friend poking fun at her buxom bust after a television appearance. Gayle joked about Oprah's boob gave her a black eye when she walked past her TV. Oprah said neither she nor Gayle, they misspelled Gayle's name, feels threatened when the other wants to bring new friends into the mix. Gayle attended Meghan Markle's baby shower this week. Altogether, Gayle and her children spent Christmas with Oprah and Stedman this year. Constructive criticism aside, Oprah made it clear that it's impossible to have a true friendship with someone who can't appreciate your success. Quote, you cannot maintain a relationship with people who lose oxygen as you're on the climb of your life, she said. The two pals also tackled a more serious issue when one woman on the cruise asked how she could support a family member who is in a toxic relationship but doesn't feel ready to leave her husband. Quote, even if you are in an abusive relationship, the experts will tell you that you need a plan, Oprah said. It's not something where you just get up and go unless your life is threatened and you are in danger. You need to have a plan, she stressed. How are you going to be able to take care of yourself and manage your life? Unquote. Gayle pointed out that the key factor in the situation is the fact that the woman's relative said she's not ready. Quote, you can't help somebody who is not ready to be helped, she argued, but Oprah didn't entirely agree. The philanthropist explained that she could help by asking her what it will take to get her ready to leave her husband. Yeah, because it was 3 years. This hag stayed with her husband for 3 years after she walked in on June 24th, 1990 at 9:24 p.m. or whatever the fuck it was, in 16 seconds and 2.3 milliseconds of him fucking another woman. She stayed with Buddy for another 3 years before she left. So I guess she really believes that. But anyway, I think I overdid it with this video. I did. I didn't really need to read that whole article. But anyway, now you have a better picture of what is behind not only Gayle's relationship with Oprah, two scorned women that kind of therapeutically lean on each other for support in spite of all their fame, all their money, all their success. These women are still torn by the fact that they couldn't, either secure the type of black men that they wanted, or that at some point individual black men hurt them in some way. And so now they're using their platforms to go after all black men. Okay? And that's what these females do. Again, it's the kamikaze mindset that Akwesi talked about so many years ago. But anyway, let me go my black ass to bed. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Jesus. Talk to you later, guys.